And we are on the air. Greetings and salutations, good people. Brandon, Ashay.
Greetings and meditations.
You starting off early, sir. You starting off early.
It's too early, Brandon.
Starting off early. What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much, just chilling.
Uh, let's see here. We got some techo news to talk about. Um, Brandon doesn't like electric cars as usual.
That's not tech.
Tech, it is tech.
No, it's
What?
not.
What do you think it is? Horse and carriage?
It's literally auto.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
technology.
Edmund,
It's
that's like food. That's
technology.
like Edmund. That's like the Food Network showing how to freaking fix a garage.
But the Food Network showed how it will be impressive when they show you how to fix that food dispenser that broke. That's when it's impressive.
Hmm.
You know, when you sit up here and you done bought three food dispensers and it's just a waste. That's when it's useful.
Hmm.
But uh today has been a is it you know what? Okay, so from my point of view, tech slows down like to slow down roughly about this time of year, and then it picks back up after CES. So we're kind of grasping at straws a little bit. You know, we're rehashing some stuff, which is not bad. I
Yeah.
I do want to talk about this one. So Ashley brought this one up, and give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull this up on my phone. So good old double A, pull this one up. Come here, pull up. All right, so this I know where you're going at with this article, but let's go in a little deeper. Pulling it up. All right, so you got T-Mobile seeking early access to 2.5. Now, this was an article from October 6th, and I think we covered some of it. They were requesting it, and then AT&T jumped in and wanted to, you know, penis block it. So, AT&T is like, "Hey, T-Mobile, you have too much spectrum, and that's not fair." So, what say you, Double A? How do you
So,
feel? Do you think
so
this is good? Do you think it's bad?
I don't think this is good. But what I've been so that means this happened in October, November time frame, and it's already December, and the FCC hasn't grant T-Mobile the auction, the spectrum, and all the other
Mhm.
competitors have the spectrum. Like all the
Yeah,
cable providers that already bought it, they already have it. So I feel like there's something wrong that the FCC may be taking a look at it. And I just feel
but
like
in what way? I mean, or do you think that
I
it's
don't
unfair
know.
that now here's the thing, the question would be at hand is do you think it's unfair for T-Mobile to have a absorbent amount of spectrum on hand in comparison to their competitors?
I feel like it's fine, but my theory is, and what I'm worried about is that the FCC is taking this much time. Now, are they thinking about, hey, you T-Mobile, you can't have this spectrum, or what is that? Because that's the thing that I'm worried about. What do you think? Do
Okay,
you think the FCC is because if they looked at it, it would have been clear and obvious. All right, you bought the spectrum, you should have got it when everyone else
right,
got it. But
right.
because AT&T said something, are they taking like an extra couple months to look at it?
I think that they have to, pay attention. What's up, Caesar? I do think that they have to really go in and say, hey, um, give it some thought, give it a cool down phase. There was a complaint that was lodged by AT&T, so there's got to be a certain amount of time for them to go, hey, we're going to give this some consideration, maybe. But for them to go as long as they have, where they're not releasing this spectrum to T-Mobile yet. Something might be in the works in the background. I don't know.
Yeah.
And what says you, Brandon?
Uh, I don't know because they might be a little cursed with AT&T.
But I'm just saying, like, do you think that AT&T is in the right by saying that, hey, T-Mobile has too much spectrum? I mean, the way I feel is nobody complained when AT&T has all the government contracts. Do
I'm just
you
saying
if you
if they care so much, tell them to give up some of that low band.
they're not gonna do that. What's up, No Radio? They're
So,
not gonna do that, sir.
so no radio,
Government
what do
shit.
you think? Because the FCC gave all the other people that bought the spectrum already gave it to them. Why do you think they're taking longer for T-Mobile? Do you think it's because of AT&T's complaint?
As far as I'm concerned, they all some haters. Even
Hey,
the
look,
government.
man. Hey,
The
look.
government has been
My
terrible with the spectrum to begin with. How dare they have something to say about who got what spectrum? They're the ones responsible for crappy auctions and bad fragmentation of different spectrums.
Oh, No Radio. You going through the woods?
Yeah, but
Just
I
going,
agree with no radio. He's talking about how the government fucked it up in the first place. They messed everything up with the separations and all these other rules.
Oh, I mean, hey, look. In America, our spectrum is super fragmented. I think that if it wasn't for, I think like the only time it hasn't been this super fragmented, it was the C-band auction. So the C-band auction is probably the cleanest auction we've had in a long time.
That's sad. Actually, I think
I
about
mean,
it, that's super sad.
because don't think about it. Verizon was able to get almost what 200 megahertz nationwide, fully continuous. Come on, 2.5 is broken up. Like it's literally chopped and screwed.
it's a pain in the butt trying to read it all on the freaking map. 2
Like
megahertz
2.5,
here,
yeah,
1.7 over there.
2.5 is chopped and screwed, and 3.7 is like clean. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't see what the whole humbug is about. It's
Megahertz
like
right here.
it,
This
say
street
that
corner
again.
has one. This street corner has 1.99 megahertz.
Oh, you talking about New York? Oh God, New York is
No,
even
I'm just saying,
worse.
bro. The whole country's like that, daggum near though. It'll be like a
Yeah.
20 megahertz chunk here, then a 5 here, then a 10 there, then 1.2 here. It's ridiculous.
Mm.
You got to bridge together 25 freaking blocks to make one 20 megahertz block.
You know, T-Mobile literally has to. T-Mobile literally has to go to 14 different companies and lease, 2.5 just to make it continuous, so they can have a complete large block of 100. Maybe one whole large block of 100 and 50. That's crazy.
And
But
plus, it ain't like AT&T really care. They ain't even rolling out the stuff they do got.
hey, look, they're
That's
taking their
true.
sweet time on that one.
Putting up C-band but no DOD. What happened to One Touch? As somebody said earlier.
Yeah,
mm,
I gotta give
that
AT&T
sounds like
credit
a
though.
big jab right there, sir. That sounds like a
The
big
one
jab.
the one touch policy actually makes sense.
Yeah, but they're
In
not
what
doing
way?
it.
Yeah, but they're not
It
Yeah,
doing
makes
they're
it.
not
sense if
doing.
you do it,
Yeah, it
not
makes
if you
sense if you
don't.
do it. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When Verizon was clear, when Verizon started putting C-band up earlier this year, so we're talking about January. AT&T said, "Well, we're waiting for dual
Dual
panels,
band
that
radios.
dual band radios for C-band and DoD." Okay, so now we're in December, and you said that they're still putting up sites where it's just C-band only. What
Yep.
did happen to the one-touch policy? They have the licenses. It's not like they don't. The auction the auction cleared last year.
Mm-mm-mm.
So, and then on top of that, there's no phone that came out that's going to be supporting it except for maybe the iPhone 14, maybe my Fold 4,
That
and
supports what?
the S22,
Hold up, Edwin. That supports what?
DoD.
No, your Fold supports DoD. I have connected to DoD.
Okay,
That
so
is
the Fold
confirmed.
4, the iPhone 14 Pro, probably maybe the Pro Max will,
Yeah.
because it came out later this year. But and maybe the S22. But then everything else is not, even though they have the capabilities of doing so. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why they're not in a rush to put up the DoD spectrum, is because no phone, they're not gonna clear anybody else to use it. Any other cell phone maker to use it yet. Even the Pixel, was it the Pixel 7 can't do it.
Got another one for you though, right? I said it earlier. I think I was talking to Brandon. How long ago did AT&T get band 30?
Oh, that I don't know, but it's been a while, right?
Yeah, and guess what? That didn't follow the one touch policy with it, because it's certainly in on every site.
Mm. No, really. Are you implying that one touch is a
When
gimmick
it
and
comes to
not
when it comes to
a
no, when it comes
truly?
to AT&T, it's a myth. The closest freaking company to actually doing one touch is Verizon. They're the closest out of the bunch. It's just
Hey,
being real.
well,
Just being
understand.
real.
Hey, look, you can't get away with putting band 13 on sites anymore, dog. You're gonna have to go out there and put the whole kit and caboodle.
Because I was like I said, I've been messing around on the AT&T network, and I realized how many places still don't even have their old band 30 yet. It's ridiculous. It's like they came through and put band 14 on all these sites and didn't bother to add the 30 while they were there.
But band 30 is only for downlink. It's not for uplink.
I know, but they still have it. Why not put seven carry on every site if you so called one touch?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Maybe
I
they
go to
don't
I,
like it.
I go to this tower over here and I'm getting 300 because I'm getting 7 carrier ag. Go to the next tower, I'm getting 4 carrier ag, but it's got 14. So I know you've been back to it.
All right. Well,
Just saying.
just saying.
One touch is not true.
Do you
They'd
think?
like
Just
to be
saying.
one touch.
Do
They'd
you
like
think
to be one
AT?
touch, but they're not. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ashley. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. Do you think AT&T is gonna get an updated contract for FirstNet? Because right now they're barely getting any reimbursements. So do you think they're getting a new?
Really?
Yes. They're not getting as much because they already used up all the reimbursement because they already put up all the band 14s on all the towers.
I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, sir, but Mr. Techman, what's up, bro? What's that? Side? I'm not even gonna try to butcher your name. Not gonna do it. But I just think that I feel like AT&T is the laziest of the three right now.
They went hard on getting that rural coverage, but they only did it because of FirstNet. And like SJ just said, maybe because the FirstNet funding is down, they ain't even
Oh
trying to do
yeah.
nothing. You see, they was like, dang, if
Yeah.
we would have had C-band when we were doing FirstNet, it'd be cheaper for us to go stick every site up fast. They might be waiting
So
on another round of funding before they start really rolling.
so so
But
so
is there
so
one?
basically, so what you're saying is the FirstNet contract made them lazy.
Well, no, it's not. Well, lazy would imply that they wouldn't want to do work. I'm saying they don't want to spend the money.
True,
They
man.
might want to do it, but what is it? How many? Like, what percent are they done on FirstNet? I think last number I heard was like 90%.
Yeah, it's like over 90. But the problem is it's the last 10% that's the hardest. The first 90
Well,
is the easiest.
I mean, the huge swaths of America is not covered for a reason because there's nobody there. You got to put a tower in the middle of nowhere where there's nobody at. Maybe the cows.
Maybe the cows.
Maybe the cows.
Eat more chicken.
No,
God damn it, no radio.
no radio. Leave
Coming
Chick-fil-A
at
alone.
me.
Leave Chick-fil-A alone. Let's see.
Put more
So
flavor. That's what I should have told them. Put
not
more
sure.
flavor.
Look at the remove metrics. See the state level. They're winning because
Come on with some hot
personnel.
wings. We need some hot wings, Chick-fil-A.
Sure, they will get a new contract. They
Fix your
will
lock.
get. They will probably get a new contract by default, dog. They're not gonna look. They've already invested
Oh yeah,
in that expansion. They already
bro.
invested in expansion. They would get it by default. It's
Bro, I
like
100% agree with you.
I mean, that's kind of like, yo, I bought all my cars from Chevrolet, and then all of a sudden I go, man, it's time for me to buy some more cars, but
But
I'm already
there's a
like 4 or
difference,
5
Edmund.
different cars deep.
The difference is if the government said, all right, we're not using AT&T anymore, AT&T would have to go to every single tower, get rid of the band 14, and
Oh
that
no,
would be a lot of money.
I mean,
they can do that remotely.
yeah,
Oh, they can do that remotely.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say
absolutely.
they could. That's a matter of flicking a switch. That's oh, we don't own it no more. Screw you too, government, and then click, turn it off.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening. I don't know. But maybe they just spending too much money on their fiber right now. That's why they ain't trying to
Oh,
go crazy on
bro,
C-band.
bro,
Bad timing. Might be
Bad
bad
timing.
timing.
bro, what's our guy's name?
Aren't they doing more layoffs right now too?
Yeah,
Who,
what's it?
AT&T?
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow,
Uh-huh.
I never thought it.
Tyrone just talked about how AT&T is now going to take more of their funding and use it more into fiber instead of wireless.
Yep.
And they're
Well,
going to do the
hold
same
on.
thing.
So what's your best bet? If you know that you're going to slow down, you know that you're not going to be able to keep up on the wireless bill, what would you do? You go and try to handicap the other people. That's why they're
Yep.
attacking it. T-Mobile.
And it's
You
the
try to
same
slow
thing.
them down. Yeah.
And the same thing that happened when they did DirecTV. They spent all their money on that DirecTV and the HBO and all that BS. And
Yep.
then they fucked up the wireless because that was their bread and butter. That's what made them money. And the problem is they can't win in C-band. They're not going to be able to beat Verizon. They're not going to be able to do that. So that means investors aren't going to be happy because they're going to be behind for C-band. So they're like, oh, investors, we'll just show them that we're building out fiber.
Yep.
But no one's buying it.
Yeah.
Bad timing.
But that's because AT&T isn't going home internet route. That is true, but that's because AT&T has chosen not to do that.
Yeah, but remember,
That's a
it's
choice.
about what you got to realize is it's perception. Okay, them going, I get it. He's saying they don't really need the bandwidth, nor because they're not doing home internet. But the customer and the general population are still perceiving them to have the least amount of 5G updating going on because they see what's going on at Verizon and T-Mobile. That's the problem.
Hey, look, when you're
it's
a
okay
company
now. Yeah.
When you got 2 of the 3 cellular companies pushing fixed wireless very hard, and then AT&T is like, oh, we're going to invest in fiber. Like
And
you literally by nature start looking like you're disconnected. You go, oh, I doing something different. But they do need it. They do PA Tech. They really do. They need to figure out something.
AT&T, like Ashley mentioned about the DirecTV thing, bro. The only reason why they even bought DirecTV is because they were trying to extend the life of their DSL footprint. That's why they bought it. They told us that to our face when I worked there. They were trying to get people off of the TV so they could up the DSL speeds because it was taking up bandwidth in the U-verse neighborhoods. They wanted to push as many people as they could to satellite for the TV so they could up the DSL internet speeds. And that didn't work when they should have just been building fiber to begin with, which is why now they're making a hard scramble to try to build all this fiber that they could have started building a long time ago and took it serious and just went for the gold, just went for it.
That goes back to the original question. Do you think that AT&T is, I'm not going to say misguided, they lack focus?
They definitely lack focus because they could have destroyed the freaking fiber market already. If they, bro, look at how much time they've lost. And this is what's happening, right? They're trying to recover their
Hey, what's
freaking
up,
broadband
Gene?
business by building the fiber out where they could have been building already. They're building that now, and then guess what pops up to give them another headache? This whole thing called 5G pops up, and now
Yeah.
they're like, "Dang it, we know we were refocused to build this fiber, and now we got to do this freaking 5G thing, so people don't say we're behind." So
Well,
that's what
you know what?
that's what it feels like.
You could honestly say that because we've shrunk down to 3 carriers from 4 for the time being. We're not going to count Dish yet. This is not a
Yeah.
slight at Dish, but the fact that we went from 4 down to 3 has actually hurt AT&T more in the whole perception game than it helped it, because now T-Mobile's like, yo, everything 5G, son, everything. You know, we won't put
That's what I
5G
say, bro.
on the trees. We put the 5G in the concrete. We put it, and then AT is like, we're still doing fiber. Like,
If
you
AT&T
can
had a
still
time
do that.
machine, all AT&T would have to do is just go back in time to about 2013 and just from that day, just go hard as crap on fiber. And they would be in a totally different place right now on their
No,
fiber.
they're gonna have to go back further than that, sir. They're gonna have to
No,
go
I'm
all
gonna say
the way.
2013 because that takes them pre-merger. That takes them before they bought DirecTV. That was 80-something billion they could have put in the fiber.
Yeah, but hey,
I'm just saying, dog.
Why not just go back to 1985?
Oh
That
no,
way
they don't have to go that far back, dog. Because you got to realize, almost no company has a gigantic fiber footprint in America. AT&T they were already ahead, and all they had to do was keep going. Instead, they went off on these side tangents. So they didn't want to build the fiber when they could have just, like Snead likes to say, embrace the grind and build the fiber from the beginning. They would have done that. They would have been way ahead in their fiber build, and this whole 5G thing wouldn't be such a burden now to try to do both. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Gene, I don't know about that, man, because I'm just saying everybody's been looking at the United States when it comes to 5G deployment. Now, do you count China in that? Because they don't really care. But other countries were literally looking at Verizon and going, yeah, that millimeter wave, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on that.
I mean, in China, if you go out on the street corner and stick a toothpick in the ground, they'll put a small cell on it. They don't care. They put a chopstick over there or something. They'll put
Dago radio. Wow.
It ain't like they got regulations.
Are you assuming they don't have forks?
They don't have regulations.
Don't show us the video where some guy's cutting out the fiber line with the chainsaw.
Because there's 600 freaking fibers and Ethernet and all kind of crap in the road that it's so much it's sagging the light poles. Yeah,
Dang.
Great regulations on that.
But my thing is, we can never compare the U.S. to any other country because we're so goddamn big.
Bro, we got counties the size of some of them countries.
Yep,
that's true. That is true. I mean, look. You know, when we end up hearing the comparison, like, oh well, you know, all of South Korea is covered in 5G. Like, South Korea could fit in the city of Houston with room left over.
Oh Jesus!
Like that's not a fair comparison.
Look, South Korea is a little bigger than Houston, but I'll give you that one. They're quite a bit bigger. South Korea is a total of 38,000 square miles.
Okay. Dallas Fort Worth, the combination of Dallas and Fort Worth.
Well, no, I'll give you an example. Texas is 268,000 square miles. So go ahead and stick Korea in there about 6 times in one state. Maybe more. Actually, more than that, like 8 times.
All right, Caesar. Hey, you have a good one, dog. But that's my only take on it is I feel like AT&T, and look, I know that I have been told in this community that my testing is anecdotal. Okay, I understand that, but from me driving around and testing, and look, I'm even with me getting ready to go back home. I'm going home for Christmas. I really do feel like AT&T is literally lazy. You know, I'm driving out there with the cows and the pigs, and it's no coverage, or
I'm gonna
barely
tell you what's
any
funny.
coverage.
So Keon, I'm gonna tell you what's going on with me, bro. AT&T was blazing till they turned on N66.
Uh-oh. Whoa, what happened?
Went from getting 300 to barely getting 100 half the time.
Oh no. So they're
But guess
cannibalizing
what?
theirs.
But guess what? I get that 5G logo all the time now.
So wait. So it's not 5GE? Is it
I
is
went
this the
from no
real
logo.
5G?
I went from no logo getting 300 to the logo and getting 100. And that looks
Wow.
real bad when you're sitting next to Verizon in the same town, and I'm still getting 200 without the 5G, and then I'm getting 900 with the 5G. You start looking real bad.
Mm,
Stuff starts looking bad. It's like, dang, like what's going on, AT&T?
hey, look. I'm just saying that
I just want to say
from
one thing.
yeah, go ahead, Ash.
No, you can go after you. I'll say something.
Hey, look, I'm just saying from my point of view, I find that AT&T is like literally living off its just its name. I think that when they walk into these government agencies, they just go, "Where do you know what my name is?" Like that's
So,
it.
so they're doing what Verizon used to do, and then Verizon had to get off that horse and take C-band serious.
Yeah,
See, Verizon used to be the
yeah,
same way, but they proved that they realized that we need to do something. That's why they're building the crap out of this daggum C-band right now. AT&T still
yeah.
hasn't done it, and that's what's going on.
So my thing is, over here in Jersey, AT&T will never deploy fiber. Over in DC, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. They're not deploying AT&T fiber.
There's so many,
So
but you gotta understand, DC has so many different fiber companies right now. Like
Yeah.
there, it's crowded. Like you got Verizon, you got Comcast. I think you got
So-
like 3 or 4 different other companies also
Yeah.
that do fiber for just business.
so my thing is, instead of in Jersey, what's the benefit for me? Because now they're not deploying fiber here in Jersey. Because I've heard from executives that they will never deploy fiber in Jersey.
But let's just be real, Ashay. We don't need them to deploy fiber where there's already fiber.
But my thing is, they're spending
We
the
need the
money
other 10
into
million
fiber.
miles of twisted pair to get fiber laid over it. That's what we need.
All
But
right,
my thing is, the
so
capex, they're gonna spend all that money into fiber, but I'm not gonna get the fiber.
Yeah, but
so hey, look, I got 2 questions that I want to ask everybody, and this is coming from the chat. Okay, so my man asks, he's on FirstNet, so is there any difference? So I don't qualify for FirstNet, but I think like you can test it out on an Android phone if you just lock your phone to band 14. And understand with band 14 is giving them more upload, but it's
So-
still just 10 megahertz of band 800, no 700.
700.
The point of FirstNet isn't for band 14. The point of FirstNet is to get the highest priority.
Yeah, you still get
That's
all the
it for
bands.
FirstNet.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
still get all the bands. You just get high priority. So,
that's the only reason that's good for FirstNet is to get the highest priority.
Right. But my thing is it should be pretty obvious that it should be everywhere. That's the whole premise behind FirstNet is when I'm out there with the cows and the pigs, I still should be able to have coverage at a decent clip, right? I should have coverage at a decent clip.
Well, I can speak for North Carolina. You will.
Yeah, in Jersey you will.
You will.
All right, and then the second question from the same viewer, and I'm gonna wait and give my opinion last because everybody already know how I feel. But what are your thoughts on T-Mobile for 2023? I want Brandon to go. I want Brandon to go first, though.
Okay.
Brandon, wake up!
You literally just got me at the perfect timing.
Wake up, Brandon. So
No, I was
what?
doing some things.
All right. So what are your thoughts on T-Mobile for 2023? And we've semi-discussed this a little bit, but
We burned through it hard.
Yeah, burn is an understatement. But what do you think about 2023 when it comes to T-Mobile?
They will raise pricing, and AT&T and Verizon will feel so comfortable doing it as well.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. So that's what you think 2023 is going to encompass for them? All right. So what about you, Double A?
I feel like T-Mobile, next year, T-Mobile, it will show how true of a company they are. Like, are they going to
Mm.
actually be getting all this money, getting all this capex, improving the network? I know they're going to be doing all that, but are they going to get the government contracts? Are they going to start getting more companies? Are they going to continue growth? Are they going to get business? Are they going to do all that? And if they do that, oh, it's game over, bro.
Like
AT&T.
so what type of signs would it end up being? Like, that it's been reported they're starting to get government contracts. Granted, they're not like the big boys, the big boy government contracts, but they're still getting contracts. They're
I
making
want
deals, they doing things, but it's just not like, what was it? Boeing decided to go with T-Mobile over Verizon. That happened this year.
Yeah, I want it so that because right now, whenever you sign up for a government phone, it's either AT&T or T-Mobile, AT&T or Verizon. I want a T-Mobile to be in that circle that you get the option for all three.
Right.
And if
And
once
what
that happens, bro, it's game over. T-Mobile's a big three. I wouldn't even consider them a small company.
I mean, they're small in the sense that they don't have the same, like, they don't have the ability to be able to do the same thing currently right now. That's how I look at it. But I want to find out. I want to find out No Radio's opinion real quick before
Quick
I
question:
chime in.
Doesn't T-Mobile have more customers than AT&T?
Technically speaking, yes,
So how would they be a smaller company if you think about it?
but it's
Because
small
they're not worth $600 billion, sir.
But that's true. I forgot all the other crap they bought. I
I
forgot
mean,
they
hey,
own.
look, where is T-Mobile's version of Dish or
That's
Warner
true.
Media?
What do we?
I'm just saying, like, you got to keep all the comparisons the same. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to make sure that everything stays the same. But what about you, No Radio? What's your thoughts? What do you see that young scrappy company doing in 2023?
They need to focus on negotiating, upping all their backhaul nationwide. Nationwide. If they want to try to keep some kind of 5G dominance, they're going to have to step up the backhaul business. They need to get to a point where every site is hitting 1.6, 1.8 on band 41.
Hey,
that's what they need to get to.
My homie tower, quote unquote, the actual tower, like I live in an apartment with T-Mobile antennas hanging off of it. I checked the speed last night before I came in, 1.7.
Yep.
Now, granted,
they need to get that on every site.
That was a combination of LTE and
That's fine.
5G, but 1.7 on the down.
They need every site to get to that point. Every single one. That's what they need to focus on. We know they're going to be slowing down on the N41 side deployment because they've almost got it mostly done. But they should obviously keep the rural build going, but mainly start getting this backhaul up because Verizon is not playing with the backhaul. So they need to get the backhaul game up to make these sites perform better. Stop choking these
fiber.
Yeah, but Verizon's paying for higher even where they don't have their own fiber.
Oh
so
yeah,
that's
but
irrelevant.
my thing is, next year, 50% of their own cellular footprint.
But how would T-Mobile
fiber.
building their own fiber right now help them? It won't. It'll bankrupt them. So it's
I
irrelevant.
know it will bankrupt them, but
so it's irrelevant.
I'm just saying that's the Verizon advantage. That's the advantage.
Well, it's not a huge advantage for them just yet. Yeah, look, you got to remember, and this comes from the conversation that we had this week, right? If there's inherent advantages and disadvantages of doing something, right? Yes, long-term viability of a company, they need to start investing in fiber. I'm not arguing that, but here's the problem: if you go from no fiber to doing fiber, you're going to lose money. You can't just all of a sudden decide to want to start digging holes everywhere. You gotta. It's going to take you time.
it would be a bad decision for them to try to do that right now. They need to go ahead and get their market dominance up. And once they get to a place where they're like Verizon, then they can do Verizon things like build fiber. But they got to get there first. Right now, they're burning more gas than they're getting in. Every dollar they're getting in is damn near going back in the network just because. So once they start to get to a point where they're controlling the market like Verizon has done for over 20 years, then you can do building fiber. Then you can do that. Then you can then laugh to the bank while you stack up your fiber. Remember, Verizon went through and did that big old LTE build out and pretty much outran everybody on building out the LTE. And then they went back and now they're trying to do fiber. They didn't try to do both at the same time.
Hey, remember, T-Mobile would have to go out and buy a fiber company like not FirstNet, but MCI. They would have to literally find their own MCI among all to buy.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can start comparing.
That's what Verizon did. They bought MCI. They didn't go from scratch and build a whole network. They bought out the largest freaking network in the country. But they had backhaul spanning the whole U.S. They got backhaul spanning the whole U.S. before Verizon even walked in the door.
But my thing is, when Verizon started, they at least had a couple of states up northeast where they built their own fiber.
Yeah, and then they stopped.
And then they stopped.
It was a bad idea. It was better to buy than to build.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, we're going to do this. And they was like, oh, fuck that. Nah, we good.
Exactly. Look, you got to realize, like, when a company like ECM about MCI, they were putting fiber in the ground when our parents were kids, okay? They didn't wake up in 2000 and say, let's build some fiber.
They took the DeLorean back into 1985 and made sure they did it right.
That's all I'm saying. The MCI footprint that Verizon's riding on was built a very long time ago. This didn't just start.
Right.
It's built a very long time ago.
Now, to give my opinion, and Brandon probably already knows how I feel about it, but I disagree with his findings about T-Mobile raising prices. They're going to do it more customer-oriented raising, which is they let the customer decide to move up, not them raise their prices on their up by just everybody just raise their prices up.
But T-Mobile already does that with their deals. Like, in order to get any of the good deals, you have to be on Magenta Max.
Yeah, and like that's what I'm saying. And I think I had the conversation with everybody the other night. Like, yo, making you choose yourself to move up is different than me doing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I make you do it, like if I literally go into your bill and say, hey, you're going to go from this plan to this plan, that means you had no say so. But if you go in and say, you know what, I do use a lot of data and I'm tired of getting that text message saying that I hit, 15%, 20% of my hotspot data allotment is left. I'm tired of seeing that. Let me go ahead and move to this thing called Magenta Max. That means you did it on your own. That's the difference. And that's what I see them doing, is they're just going to start deprecating the lower services. The whole idea of Sprint is going to be gone. All the deals that they gave for Sprint customers, they're going to be rolled. They're going to be like the lowest ring on the totem pole. And then you're going to be like, yo, do you want to keep this service? Guess what? You can keep it. You're not going to get Tidal. You're not going to get Amazon. All those things are going to be gone.
Yo, Ashay, you want to have some fun? What was the original name of MCI? What did MCI even mean?
Oh God, that's been so long, dog.
It's gonna ruin your fiber day when you find out what MCI means.
What
Microwave Communications Inc.
Oh shit!
They started off as a microwave company, building microwave links in the 60s.
Wow!
Go take your microwave back, call somewhere else.
Wow!
And they were building it to compete with AT&T. Started in 1968.
Well, look at the roles now.
Because they were competing for the long distance communication, for long distance phone calling. And MCI, then they transitioned to fiber later on.
MCI's fiber is everywhere, and AT&T is now just getting started building. Don't you find that kind of weird?
No, AT&T started building a long time ago too. But when we say AT&T fiber, we're talking about residential. When we say MCI, we're talking about backhaul long distance, enterprise level. It's not the same.
AT&T has a lot of
Yeah, they got a lot of
what's
fiber, but
fiber.
yeah, but like I said, they both are that old though. They're both that old. That's how long ago they started doing this backhaul thing. It's the damn 60s.
So hold on. So Gene said like his cellular coverage is horrible in Delaware. Really?
On which
Delaware?
network?
He said Verizon.
Oh, I believe him.
What?
That's AT&T country, ain't it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought that.
Ain't that?
AT.
I'm pretty sure that's AT&T country.
Yep.
I would have never thought that.
Not T-Mobile though. Do not use T-Mobile. I've been there with T-Mobile.
And to answer this question, well, it wasn't a question, but I think that Verizon and T-Mobile are the only ones that are going to be focused on rural right now.
Yeah,
To be
AT&T's
honest
already
with you.
got rural really good already, to be real. So
The only thing I see if AT&T, if AT&T gets a new FirstNet contract, then I see them focusing back on rural a little bit.
yeah, but that still ain't gonna throw that C-band and DoD on all these city towers that they skipping right
But
now.
here's the thing, like, let me ask you this question, Ash. Let me ask you this
So we
question.
got band 14.
So when you say that if they thinking about getting a new contract, what's it going to be? What would it be? I mean, you technically
It'll
got
just be more money.
they got
But
paid to expand, right?
yeah, but it's just gonna be rural though. It still ain't gonna put C-band on all these towers. These towers
Right.
already
So
have band 14.
so band 14 is supposed to be nationwide, not
Yeah.
oh well we have this opportunity to put C-band on every site while we do band 14. Well, that's already
never
gone
know.
now.
You never know because the government, I forgot whatever the FirstNet, they have an organization. The organization is giving money to AT&T to deploy a couple millimeter wave and C-band panels near arenas and all that. So that means it
Okay.
may not be if they're given money to do that in some of the places, it may not be like a surprise if they give it to do it on all the towers or the majority of the towers.
I don't know if the government wants to double down on that one.
No,
They're not
no,
getting
I
some
don't think
stocks,
so.
but I don't think they want to double down because you got to realize the C-band's going to be even more expensive than the band 14 was.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Little Birdie says that those panels are about 18 grand. Little Birdie says
you talking about the dual panels?
no, just the regular 6445 panels, full price.
Oh no.
Little Birdie says that they're like 17, 18,000.
No.
Thought they were much cheaper than that, but Little Birdie said they're not.
Man.
Little Birdie know who he is. Tweet.
Hey, look, I wanted to get your opinion real quick about this one on radio. So I since I've been doing my testing on the iPhone and the conversations I've been having with people in the community, I don't think the iPhone ever switches into standalone.
I think it's weird. It's doing it some places and not others because of another conversation I had with someone. There's something weird going on with iPhones and standalone. Some places it's working, some places it's not.
Well, here's the thing. But here's the thing. The speed test signifies that it should be in standalone.
So what's the pings? Are the pings matching?
Man, 13, 14, 15.
So that means you should be getting standalone then.
But it's still registering on the service screen that it's connected to band 66.
We know that you can't look at the service menu on an iPhone.
I cannot look. I have to be empathetic to people with iPhones. Okay, sir.
Okay, so
my YouTube channel is dependent on me showing empathy. Okay,
I get, but what I'm getting at is this. Okay, something else I've noticed too, since we're going to talk about it, the behavior of these devices. Have any of you guys seen your phone purposely letting go of mid-band and only grabbing it when you pull data, like real time, like instant?
100%.
On my Android phone, I've seen it do it.
Yes.
Yep.
So like I could be near a C-band site and it will drop down to not C-band. As soon as I pull data, it goes back to C-band and it's instant.
Yes.
I'm wondering if that's what iPhone's doing with standalone. It's just
So you
because
said,
it's not updating, you don't see it switching. It's just because the update isn't real time when you're doing it. You're not realizing it's actually dropping the standalone to pull that data and then going back to
so
save
that
power.
momentary pause when you get ready to do the speed test, it'll be low, and then all of a sudden it kicks in, and you'll see the
It's
knob
snatching it.
shoot all the way over.
Yeah, because that's what my S22 it does that on Verizon, and it's instant. Like it'll literally be just saying 5G as soon as I touch it, ultra wideband, and then it goes back. It's jumping instant. It didn't do that before. It would get on and just stay, or it wouldn't get on at all. But now it literally is like picking and choosing when it wants to be on. And I don't know if anybody else is seeing that, but that's what I'm seeing.
I don't see it as much, but I can't really say yay or nay on it yet. But like I said, I'm still trying to make heads and tails of my iPhone and the information that it's spitting out. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to understand this. I got into a heated discussion with a person who resides in Georgia, and we were going back and forth about it. And I'm like, look, man, there's certain amount of information you're just not obtaining, and I was told differently. All because it refreshed and showed the number, but not to go too deep. But I'm just saying that I'm trying to make heads and tails of what I'm seeing, but I'm not seeing it.
So
Only thing I can tell is when I do a speed test that I saw where it will be low, 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 then bam, it yanks all the way down to 1,000.
Yes, I think this is part of some of the power saving features going on. That's what it seems like. Because you got to realize, right? Say you got a site and you say you got band 71 on it. Well, band 71 is going to be easier to grab than band 41. So it's probably dropping down to LTE bands or 71 while you're not using it. And as soon as you want data, it's going, all right, N41 it is, standalone. Go, 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 stop. Power save, power save, power save. Go, 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 stop. I think that's what's actually happening.
So the iPhone is more aggressive on its power saving?
What I'm saying is the Android is starting to do it too. That's what I was trying to explain. My Android is doing that. It's not holding ultra wideband until I pull data, and then it chooses to grab it. I don't know if it's part of how they set the sites up or what's going on, but it has changed. It has definitely changed.
I wish I was in your market to see that, because right now on T-Mobile, it's staying connected to N41 the whole time. It'll stay connected.
What I'm saying, you're in a city though. Go to a rural tower and see what it does, and be far away from it.
That's the only thing.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. In the city, you're sitting under the site. That's different. But when you're a mile away, standalone may not be the best decision for that phone on the battery.
When I go home next week, I should be able to see that happen. Then, what's going on, Mr. Sneed Mobile Tech in the house?
We might have to link up, dog, and do some testing, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know where East Carolina's at. And I got a long weekend.
Oh man. Yo, I think I'm going home. I'm leaving Thursday night, Friday morning, so I can get ahead of the traffic. So, I mean, what is the closest in between Eastern North Carolina and you?
How far are you from Raleigh?
Oh, it's 2.5 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah. From my small little town to Raleigh, it's 2.5 hours.
God, Jesus.
Yeah, so like getting to Wilmington is like
Wilmington?
Getting to not Wilmington, getting to Wilson, North Carolina, it's about a little under an hour.
Wilson, that's where they got that green light community fiber. Might have to figure something out, man. I
might have to make a special trip. That's what I might have to do.
Meet up somewhere.
As long as it's in the budget. My wife controls my budget. So
gas is cheaper here than it is up there, I'm sure.
I don't know. We're almost under $3 a gallon. So just remember, we had three. Like last time I saw it, it was at 305. So we're almost there. But because the reason why I asked is from this article on Fierce was, now that T-Mobile has rolled out their cloud native the 4G and 5G are everything is going through the
Yeah,
cloud now.
same.
So
Yeah.
that I was wondering is I don't really think that it really matters if the phone is in standalone or non-standalone anymore. You're still getting the same type of pings regardless.
Because there's different layers though that the 4G has to go through. That's what actually adds to the ping.
Yeah, true, but
Even
the
though it's
thing
on the
is
same
the
core.
4G has to understand 5G protocols.
We're gonna have to do some. I guess we're gonna have to have a deep 2-3 hour, documentary about the cores again.
I gotta go back and find that video
Because
on
I'm
it where
still
I
certain
where
that the rules apply for the layers still, regardless, even if
Edmund,
they're on the same core.
Edmund,
Go ahead, Ash.
I can give you the video. I just gotta ask my 5-year-old Indian friend.
Oh Lord.
Yep, he know better than we do.
Hey. You know the people in India are way more advanced than us. Come on, dog. Why do you think they're CEOs of American companies? Come on, dog. Y'all are CEOs of American companies at 85. But now here's one. So now that we've gotten majority of the cellular out of our system, if anybody in the chat want to ask a question before I pull up the next, but this one has been a very interesting one that I stumbled across before I came on, and we're gonna pique my interest. Hold up, wait for it. Come here. No radio. Would you be interested to find out that Apple has reportedly been backed out of the NFL Sunday ticket negotiations?
They ain't man enough for the job. That damn worm that got in the apple and rotten that thing, boy. They ain't man enough.
No. So the Verge
Plus,
reported it, and Engadget reported on this.
and
So
what's funny is
basically,
we'll never know why, but I guarantee it had something to do with Apple not being as open as they might need to be for it to work.
probably.
NFL
Now,
ain't trying to close off no audience. You don't want to
hey,
close off the audience.
yo, remember we had this conversation, and you look, you was on one side, I was on the other, and not to go down the rabbit hole anymore, but you said that hey, NFL money, so they're asking $3.5 billion
Yep.
for the NFL Sunday ticket, right?
Yep.
I said that if they go with YouTube, they're looking to have a bigger audience. They're looking for the ability to go, hey, we want our brand in front of more people. And you said that hey, if they go with an Apple or even if they go with Amazon, that means that they just want their dollars. You know, they want their dollars. So the fact that Apple has decided to, go, nah, we good. Something about it.
We know Apple can buy it in their sleep, but Apple is probably going to want way more control than the NFL wants to give them.
That's true.
That's the thing. That's why I say, it's one of them things. That says Apple doesn't see the logic. Yeah. And, hey, that's a good pun. They got a software called Apple Logic. Anyway.
Wow.
But I guarantee it. They wanted way too much control. They're probably going to try to lock the thing down and nah.
Now, in this article, they said that they wanted more control to be able to send it overseas, like be able to broadcast overseas.
Nah, NFL ain't playing that, dog. They got different contracts over there for different things. They ain't doing all that. They got contracts with other agencies and different things that they not trying to mess with.
So
cable companies. This is mainly for the U.S. There's other cable companies and satellite broadcasters and things overseas. Those are totally different.
So I mean that's something that I think what was it? I saw an article where they were talking about they wanted like certain other rights to go along with it. I don't know what it was. I think it was like they wanted exclusive rights on like media also. Was it media? I don't know exactly what it was.
There's no telling what they're trying to get. See, what
But it
Apple
was
doesn't realize is that DirecTV was a slave to the NFL because the NFL validated them. It would keep
30
people on the
years, dog.
platform. Yeah, it
30
would keep people on that
years.
platform. The NFL had all the power. And that's what people don't realize. And Apple over here thinking they're about to come in and sling some money and get power. It's like, nah. Nah,
Hey,
dog.
hey
Remember,
man,
viewership is
listen.
already down for football. Viewership's already down.
Yeah.
So in the NFL, like I said,
But here's the thing. I've been noticing that there's a lot more like highlights coming to YouTube
yeah.
of recent. So like within the last couple years, like just because in my market, I can be like, all right, so how's the Carolina Panthers looking? I can
You
see
know
what the
what?
highlights are. It's almost like watching the whole game. Is the highlights almost that detailed?
Yeah. You know what YouTube need to do? They need to go ahead and get the NFL thing and start their own little commentator desk and stick Chisel Adonis in there. Fire.
Yo,
Flame.
Chisel Ladonis is funnier than all outdoors, dog.
I want to say something real quick. So
Go ahead.
the NFL is now hosting their own Saturday games. The past couple yesterday they had all 3 games were on, and you had to buy the NFL ticket, the NFL Plus shit, in order to watch the games because the NFL hosted the rights for those games.
Yep.
And even the Christmas
Mm.
game, you have to have NFL Plus to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So,
You know what? I have not downloaded NFL Plus yet, and I'm not going to until all this stuff gets sorted. So we should be able to hear what's going on until after the Super Bowl, because that's when
yeah.
what is it? That's when Dish. I mean, not Dish. That's when DirecTV doesn't have it no more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gene, you're a Carolina fan, sir? Yes, sir. Carolina
Yes,
Panthers,
sir.
baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Keep pounding, sir. Keep pounding.
That's right.
That's what she said. That's what Mitchell said too.
An hour, not even an hour. I'm at 57 minutes in.
You know I had to do it.
I know. Yeah, they did a contract with MLB for Apple TV Plus, and was it Friday night basketball? No, baseball. Sorry. So, yeah, I mean the thing is the whole streaming everything is coming. The problem is we don't know what it's going to look like. But the fact that Apple has dropped out leads me to believe that streaming companies want more exposure, not less.
All I want to say is this: the MLB only did 11 billion in revenue. NFL did 17.
Are you saying that somebody's swinging a little bit more than others? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, some people hitting the bottom. They hitting the bottom.
Oh gosh. And moving on to the left and to the left over here.
Literally.
But yeah, no, hey, I'm just saying that I had always suspected that it didn't make any sense for Apple to get it, right? It doesn't fit.
Nope.
I wasn't gonna go and get a new sign up for Apple TV. I wasn't gonna do it. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? I'm already only doing the iPhone. I'm gonna end up doing Apple TV too. Bridge too far.
Plus, you got to look at the audience that's really still watching the NFL heavily, and that audience is well in their 40s. They're like dedicated, like truly dedicated, is well in their 40s.
Right.
They're not trying to have a new streaming service just to get the NFL games. There's something, it's just a different thing.
I wish Brandon was in here.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get his idea on it. Because that's why I held off on it until.
You know what I found, bro? I found a lot.
What's
Like when I was younger, like everybody was into the NFL and NBA. Everybody, every dude around every corner, right? And more, I hear people saying, "I don't really keep up with it like that." And I'm like, bro.
Oh, I always the first thing I always ask people is people say this: oh, I only pay attention to NBA when playoff time,
Yeah,
right?
that's what's happening.
So playoff time. Nobody really pays attention to it unless you're like super hardcore.
But the older
Playoff
generation
time.
is super hardcore. They come home and they bout that game on Sunday or whatever. They're serious about it and they keep up.
That's true.
You know.
So
I mean,
Gene says he has an Apple TV Plus on Comcast and iPhone 13 mini.
yeah.
So I mean, yo, you would have been the prime example of getting an NFL Sunday ticket, but
Well, bro,
remember, it would have to be a lot more of you.
because think about it like this. I think about like my Uncle Leon, right? Shout out to my Uncle Leon, greatest uncle ever, right? He's the most hardcore football fan on this planet. I promise you ain't a bigger fan. You go in his house, it's a daggone museum.
What
This
team does he
dude,
rep? What team?
he's a Panthers fan.
But
But then, in the college, he's a Duke fan. But we ain't gonna go into that, Uncle Leon. But I'm just saying, he's like hardcore dude, got a freaking museum in his crib, okay? Like legit. And he ain't about to go get freaking Apple TV Plus just so he can watch freaking football. He's not doing it. And so for him, he's still watching that regular cable. So for him, the natural transition would be a streaming service that gives him all his cable channels and still gives him his football. And Apple ain't that.
That's
See
true.
what I'm getting at? Apple's not that. At least if he has to ditch his cable to go to YouTube to get NFL, at least he can also get his live TV there in one place.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The transition is harder. So they a true live TV streaming platform. If a streaming platform is going to get it, it's going to have true live TV. Apple don't have that.
I just think that a more exposure would be better. You're gonna have to change. Like no radio. When you were talking about how like the younger crowd doesn't even care about driving no more.
No,
we're starting to get to the place where you're going to get a generation of people that don't care about football.
Yep.
And I don't think the NFL wants that to happen. You need to change you're gonna have to change the ways of how people look at it.
Because just think about it, right? When the NFL ticket had no problems being on DirecTV until DirecTV started to die out.
That's true.
All of a sudden, it's got to go somewhere. After all this time, it's got to go somewhere.
That's true.
So where is it going? It's going to go. It's got to find its audience. So whoever the hardcore people holding on are, you need to target them. And I don't think you target them by telling them to go get an Apple TV subscription and pay for the NFL ticket separate. Then it's still got to go pay somebody else to get live TV.
Yeah. Hey, look. Like I said, NFL is the
bars, restaurants. They all got to do it too. Think about it. Bars and restaurants that showed freaking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 games same time.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Oh look, once it goes streaming, those contracts like I think that DirecTV is going to die, especially when it comes to bars and clubs.
It's over. It's over, son. It's over.
It's soon as like the writing's on the wall. I think that the bars and clubs were the only thing that was holding DirecTV up.
But
where like the viewership was dying on the customer end.
Yeah, but check out them same bars and clubs still show the baseball games and the soccer games. They do all these different services. They don't want to have 15 platforms to do that from.
That's true.
That's why I said it goes bad. Whoever gets it that'll be successful will be somebody that makes it easy for the traditional settings to still use.
Yeah, I mean, look, we live in the internet age, man. Some of these TVs can just like a lot of these TVs they are in clubs and bars. They're smart.
They
TVs.
already can do YouTube out the box.
There you go. Now all they got to do is download it and log in.
Everything from you.
They can literally just download and log in to the TV and then bam.
And then they can sign up and get all the different sports packages, and it'd be just like having a traditional cable they had before. Ease of use. That's why I say I think YouTube is a front runner. I agree with you on that, Keon. I think YouTube TV is a front runner.
I mean, like I said, the amount of TVs that have access to the internet and then have like Android TVs too. Come on, dog. Android TVs are like, even if you plugged in a Roku, you can still plug a Roku in and still get YouTube TV.
So the problem was for MLB when the sports bars were trying to broadcast the Apple TV games that had the rights to, they weren't able to do that. Technically,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Apple did not give a licensing so that sports bars can broadcast it.
Well,
Mhm.
And
because
that was a
because here's the
problem.
thing that
Mhm.
you have to look at what it took. You have to look at what it took to broadcast inside of your club. So you had to go to DirecTV and say, "Hey, I got like 5, 6, 7 TVs." Then they gave you a special box. They put you underneath a special account so you can interconnect all your televisions together to broadcast. Right? Well, you know that like these bars are paying for those extra extremities. A special box that splits the signal amongst multiple
That's,
televisions.
believe it or not, though, Keon, what most of them were actually doing, they were using like multiple H25 boxes, which is a regular box, but they were using a
Uh-huh.
switching system that let them. They can put two TVs to the exact same feed if they needed to. But typically, when we did, because I did a lot of bars and stuff, I did a bunch of Buffalo
Uh-huh.
Wild Wings installs.
Mm,
We literally gave them a box for every TV, but all the boxes were in the central location, and they had a
right,
switching system that let them select what they needed. But shoot, you might put 13 boxes in one Buffalo Wild Wings. Just
right. Well, hey, look, I'm just saying, like, imagine this, like, because I'm a YouTube TV subscriber. Like, yo, you can end up having these let's say Buffalo Wild Wings has a
Yep.
corporate account. They'd be like, how many
Yep.
TVs do you have in that one location? Oh, that location
Mhm.
has 30 TVs. All right, no problem. 30 TVs, 30 account, 30 individual accounts. Look, and then on top of that, each TV can be switched independently of each other because they don't have to all be tied in.
Yep.
Each TV can be like, yo, you know what? The people over there want to see baseball. Over there, they want to see football. Or the people over there want to see,
Yeah.
curling.
And imagine you're a bar and you got to have 5 different streaming services for all the different sports.
Oh, dagger.
Whereas when you're a bar now, you literally just turn on and it just plays. You just turn it on
Yeah,
and it
that's
just
true.
plays. You put baseball on that one, football on that one, football on that one, basketball on that one, college basketball on that one over there, hockey on that one over here, and you just walk away and it just works.
Mm,
That's what you need. You don't
that's
need
what
to
you
be,
need.
oh man, the Apple account logged out again. Let's go fix it. Oh God, the
Oh,
YouTube account logged out again. Let's go fix it. Okay, this logged out. You see what I'm saying? That's
the radio. I just say something. I literally cannot see a bar like enter their credentials in every time they want to change the channel. When you were telling me about your Apple TV,
bro,
you'd be
it can
like,
get
"Yo,
really
I'm the
annoying
same
sometimes.
person. Why are you asking me to re-verify?" Like
Customer
is
call you
somebody
over there.
sneaking?
Yo, this TV says you need to enter the password again. I'm just trying to watch the game.
Hey, what's the password at table number 13? I don't know. Call the manager up. The manager will never get a moment of sleep.
But
Man,
that's why I say whoever makes it simple, puts it all in one place, is going to win. They will literally slaughter all the cable companies as well, by the way. Slaughter.
yeah. I mean,
Because people have
look,
been
the
waiting for
NFL,
NFL ticket to get away from DirecTV for the longest. People have
yeah,
been waiting on that day, bro. They've been waiting. That's all I used
the
to do when I worked
NFL,
for DirecTV.
the NFL is the last shoe, dog, and
Yep.
this is the last year that we're gonna have to deal with this problem. And I'm saying, I feel like AT&T saw the writing, was like, "Yo, get this off our books now. Like, get this off our books because once it goes, everybody's gonna start dropping DirecTV. They're
Yep.
gonna start dropping. They're gonna be like, yo, I could just pull it up on my phone. Why do I have you for? I don't need you.
All right. In an
But
imaginary fantasy land, what just for shits and giggles, this isn't happening. What if the carriers were fighting over the NFL ticket?
ooh, well, it would probably be in the pecking order of Verizon, AT&T, and then T-Mobile. T-Mobile would never be able to touch it. They would never be able to touch it.
Getting the
They don't
NFL
have it.
ticket stop Verizon from having to maybe come down their prices later. Would it be
That's
enough?
difficult. No.
Just shits and giggles. Just shits and giggles. Throw something out there.
No. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, people want cheaper when it comes to them. They
But
don't
you gotta
want
realize
more.
what
They don't care. Like they don't care if they all of a sudden able to do, Netflix streaming on us for a year. They don't care.
Do they have to pay for Sunday ticket?
What, that the individual would have to pay for Sunday
if
ticket?
they were to do it
Yeah.
smart, they would treat it the same way DirecTV started it. DirecTV would give it to everybody for free to begin with.
Yeah, that would
That's
be
how they got you
True.
hooked. That's how they
because
got you
for
hooked.
1 year it's like $400.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Bro, I had
$400
customers that would run their whole year out, the free year, and then they'd call in and re-up and get another free year of NFL ticket when I worked there.
Oh, wow. That's the reason
Easy.
why. That's the reason why DirecTV won't making no money. You gonna have to start making these
Yeah,
people
but you gotta
pay.
realize they were reeling them in with the NFL ticket. That's the thing.
You gotta start making them pay, man. You gotta make money.
Hey, that helped that ship float for a while, so I'm trying to tell you.
Hey,
That's why I had
I mean,
customers that had both DirecTV and cable at the same time because they just wanted an NFL ticket. Okay.
Mm. hey,
Same time.
hey, so I got a little side tangent. Since Brandon's not here, and I can, when Brandon's not here, I can talk about my electric vehicles. So since in Texas they don't believe in electricity, but we're not gonna go that far. I'm gonna get hate mail for that one. I'm gonna get hate mail, but hey, I had to say the joke. You don't get it. It's an inside joke, but you're gonna love this. So how me and the radio, how we have these conversations about electric vehicles, and everybody keeps saying electric vehicles aren't ready. They're not ready for prime time. You can't go far on them. Da, 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 this and that, right? Well, maybe one of the reasons why they can't gain any traction is because of this.
Yeah, but that bro. So what this article is? I'm laughing about this article because this is very real.
Yes.
And it wasn't even because it was electric though. That's the thing. It's because it was a truck. Period.
It was just a truck. But
yeah,
I mean,
this has happened to people I work with. They literally can't park their vehicle at home because of the damn HOA.
Godly.
HOAs are a bitch, bro.
But here's the thing: these trucks are going to become more prevalent, and these garages are not big enough to hold them. So, if anything, like we don't want to see it on the road. We don't want this. We don't want it. This is going to be hell on earth just because of HOA. Because the people who are living in HOA neighborhoods are going to be the next group of people that are like looking and going, electric cars will be the next thing I need to buy. Well, guess what? The Rivian is a very sexy vehicle. What about the F-150 Lightning? Like, that thing's bigger than the Rivian.
Just saw yet another Rivian today, by the way.
Oh man, I'm seeing them all over the place. I'm driving through.
I can't believe how many Rivians are on the road right now. It's insane.
I'm literally driving through Washington D.C. and neighborhoods in DC, and I'm seeing them parked on the side of the road charging. So people are literally running extension cables. And understand, DC has row houses, so they're literally parking their cars on the street, running an extension cable out just so they can charge their car. Keep this in mind. The people are literally jumping through hoops so they can stop buying gas. But hey, I don't see these things. I'm just being told this, maybe. All right. But yeah, no, this is gonna be bad. These vehicles are getting bigger, and they're only gonna keep getting bigger. Dog, have you seen what the what is the Chevy version of the Tahoe? The Chevy version of the Tahoe is gonna be huge when it becomes electric. It's gonna be huge. And guess where they're gonna be at? In suburbia America.
Yeah.
Where all these HOAs are at. This is exactly where they're gonna be, and these lawsuits are gonna start popping up.
Yo, Elon, where's that man's truck at?
Oh, dog. The Cybertruck is like 1.5 times bigger than his Rivian. What's gonna happen then?
Homeboy still waiting on his truck.
Yeah, and that is not
I was
happening.
just saying, Tesla out here taking forever to put that truck out, and Rivian is out here killing it.
Rivian's like, get capitalized while Strike while the iron's hot. Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead and cancel your Cybertruck pre-order. Get one of these. We got them on deck.
Gene says there is an electric version of this Chevy. Yes, it is. Oh, that thing's nice.
Yep.
The
That
problem
vehicle
with
is
the
nice. I
the problem
saw
with the
it.
Rivian,
It's
it's
on
taking
YouTube right
2
now.
years to order. So like if you
No,
were to
it's
order, it
not.
takes
No, it's not.
No,
No, it's not.
no.
Bro, how many
The
years we
waiting,
waiting on Cybertruck? How
the
many years we
truck,
waiting on Cybertruck?
the Cybertruck has
Oh,
been
longer.
literally in limbo for 4.5 years right now.
Exactly. The
Like when
Rivians
they
are
introduced
delivering.
it, yes,
They're
Rivian's
delivering.
delivering.
Dude, I've
Yeah,
counted
but
at
it's
least
taking a
30
long
of them,
time.
dog.
Bro, I know a person that legit ordered it, and it's been 2.5 years. They ordered it when it first was cheap, and then they changed the price and all that.
Still better than 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but I'm still thinking
And
it's taking
counting.
time.
We ain't gonna see a Cybertruck till 2026. The way it's going.
Yeah,
The way it's
but you
going.
know what? But here's the thing:
Or Roadster.
He used it. Elon used the enthusiasm of people that would love to see something different on the road. Built up a whole like what was it? $100? Like it only costs you $100 to do a reservation, and then he turns around and takes all the reservations and go, "Look, bank, look at all the people that want to buy something from me." And then he gets funding, but then he could take his sweet time releasing it. That's exactly what he's doing.
All I'm saying is the Rivians are delivering. If I'm seeing them everywhere, they're delivering, dog.
I've
Like,
seen the
I'm starting to
R1S.
I'm starting to see just as many Rivians as I do Teslas of any type. And
Whoa.
that is funny to me. It's hilarious. I can't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe when I first saw one. It was a green one parked in downtown Greensboro. I said, them things is out. And then I saw another one and another one and another one. I said, what the hell?
Hey, look, I saw the R1S. So I saw the SUV recently. So you know that the R1T is the truck, and that came out first. I've seen the R1S on the road, like literally an owner driving the R1S, which means that they are doing both truck and SUV now, and Elon hasn't even done the truck yet.
Yeah.
What does that say? And remember, Elon had a 20-year head start.
But what did Rivian do? What did Rivian do that was the smartest move they ever made? They got in bed. We partnered with freaking Ford.
Yeah. Oh, and then they partnered with Amazon too.
Mm-hmm. And the vehicles is out here. I've even actually seen the Rivian delivery truck too, by the way, for Amazon.
Ooh.
Seen one.
I have not seen it yet.
They're out. They're testing them. They're out.
I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, I've got like 5 freaking Amazon distribution centers near me, bro. The trucks are out. They've got them out. They're on the road already. The vans. So I mean that's why I say they're moving fast.
Hey, look, I just found this to be kind of like annoying at best. The fact that you got the HOA and these, like I said, these trucks are like, what was it in the article? They said that people are literally like taking pictures of this man's truck while it's parked on the road.
He's backing up traffic in front of his house, pissing off the HOA because everybody's looking at his truck.
Yeah. Your truck is too popular.
I'm trying to get my kids
park
to
that in the
school.
garage.
People are taking pictures of your truck.
Park that in the garage.
So they've delivered over 12,000 on the road, and there's 14,000 done in production right now of the R1Ts.
Oh, wow.
So they're delivering.
That's true.
It says that they're gonna have 25,000 vehicles out by end of year total.
Oh man.
And we're about to hit the end of the year.
That's true.
It said just in the third quarter, they did 7,300 in the third quarter alone.
My question is, will they end up qualifying for the next year's tax credit?
Yeah, that's
going to be interesting because I know that they're hurry up and get them out the door now. Same thing with Elon and Tesla, where they're trying to hurry up and get them out because next year the tax credit restrictions are going to be harder to meet. You know, there's only a handful of companies that actually meet it. Why do you think like VinFast is building here in America?
Yep.
You know, this is gonna be hard to replicate at this point. But I found that to be kind of a funnier caveat today. But yeah, this is another jab at Texas. I hate to do
And
this,
and
Texas.
didn't you say you saw lightning too, Keon?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
I've
lightning
seen
when they were still testing
I've
it.
seen a couple of lightnings already.
I haven't seen a release version of it yet, but I have seen them testing it.
Dog,
Like
I was
it was,
driving
it
next
was a
to
test
one.
truck. They was literally wrapped in everything in the black and white stuff. It was on the road out here, and I was like, "What?
Oh wow.
Look at that!
What they put the digital camo
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. It was on the road, man. It was already out on the
Man,
road, and that was over a year ago. So,
I'm
but
trying to bait Brandon back into the room. I hope he's watching. He don't like the idea when I talk about electric cars and stuff. So Tesla's new virtual power plant let Texans sell electricity back to the grid.
oh no, damn, damn. Oh,
Hey,
we
hey,
figured it
hey,
out. Yeah,
hey.
we figured.
How do you make
Hey, look,
Texas power grid better?
look, Brad. I mean, Kia. All I'm saying is this: the next time the power go out in Texas, and do you
Uh-huh.
remember that one guy that had his F-150 Lightning already,
Yes.
and he was the only house on the street with lights?
Yep.
He gonna be sending that power back to Tesla when the power's out.
Yep.
The Ford
Yep.
gonna be powering Tesla.
Hey, these electric vehicles need to be able to help out with the power grid too.
Just saying, who needs a generator when you got a big ass battery parked in the driveway?
Very true indeed. Very true indeed. I had to jab. Brandon, if you're watching, I had to jab at you, sir. I'm just saying,
Good for Elon. He gonna help the Texas power grid.
somebody need to help it.
They need to put some of those batteries, those big batteries they've got, the size of shipping containers, out in Texas. That's what Tesla needs to be doing. I think they probably already are.
They probably are. I mean,
Yeah.
understand especially around where he's doing his like Starship base. They probably have stabilized their electric grid over there
Yeah, they probably good.
because yeah, I don't necessarily think they're gonna have anything too much worry about. And I think like what is it? From what Austin? Austin said that Texas is supposed to get ready to get into the sub teams. What this week?
Yep.
Oof. Here we go again.
We're gonna see if they got the defrosters working on them windmills.
Oh wow. Not the defrosters on windmills, man.
The windmills froze up, man.
I remember. I remember hearing about it.
I just need to get everybody to go out there and pee on the defroster.
Wow. Wow. Hurry up and warm them up. Warm them up.
Go get Mitchell to twerk on it. It'll warm it up.
See, already I knew you were running, you were going down that road. I knew you were heading in that direction. I knew you were going in that direction. I knew.
Yep. Every 100 booty pops is a 1 degree in temperature increase, man. You know what I'm saying? Talk about getting the power grid up and running.
Man.
I'm done.
So since what is it? I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be doing a show next week since I'm gonna be in North Carolina doing as many speed testing videos as I possibly can cram into my phone. Is there anything particular that the community would like to see? Feel free to at me or on Twitter and tell me what you'd like to know.
We want to see U.S. Cellular performance.
Oh Lord.
Tell
You know
your
what?
brother to
I'm
pull out the
gonna
US Cellular.
have to pull use my brother's phone
Yeah.
to do it. I'm gonna have to use my brother's phone to do it. And I need to be able to do the comparison against all the other guys too. He has a fold, so it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if he's gonna let me use his phone though. He does. He's a bit of a player. Let's just say it that way. I might have to sterilize his phone.
From the Himalayas.
I might have to sterilize his phone to use it.
He's like a Coors Light can. He's cold as the Rockies.
Oh yes, yes he is. Most definitely. But yeah, I'm gonna see about trying to do that. Maybe I might end up using my father's phone, which would be a whole lot safer to do. But yo, his screen gonna be all cracked up, dog. His screen gonna be torn all to pieces. I've seen what his phones look like, but I'm eager to get started. I know that I'm gonna try to document my ride down. I'm gonna hit up a truck stop, rest stop before I go home, and then do some speed testing at those different places. So I'm in rural America, people. Remember, this ain't in the city. This is out here with the pigs and the cows. That's where I live. That's where I'm from. So I'm with the pigs and the cows and the chickens. But and then what is it? When I get back, CES is going to end up happening. So tech news should start, getting a little bit more spicier. Matter of fact, before I get ready to go, the radio, what do you think the theme is going to be for CES?
I don't know, but your boy Mobile Master Tech posted something earlier that interesting.
What did he post?
You see his post about them TVs that don't have no inputs, no power cable. They literally run. It's a TV that runs on batteries.
Huh?
You didn't see that?
No, a TV. Oh wait, a TV that runs on batteries.
You literally have rechargeable batteries for the TV. It's like put a 65-inch on the wall without a TV mount because it literally sticks to the wall.
You know what? I've seen some TVs that are like that, but they have like a cable that runs from the back.
This one don't even have a cable out the back.
Wow.
So my question is, how long is the battery life, and how much of a hassle is it to change the battery? Like it seems like a good idea, but at the same time, it's like, why battery? Like, I think we can get away with a power cable, dog. Like,
okay, I can see that being something that you would do, let's say, on a showroom floor that you're temporarily going to be doing some presentation, but
in your house.
But in your home, no.
I think they reaching a little much now. That's my point.
Remember one year it was 3D TVs everywhere. 3D this,
God,
3D that.
That didn't last.
I mean, people. Yeah, then you had that. Look, it was 3D TVs, and you had to wear glasses for the 3D TVs the next following year. So I'm just curious about me personally. I would love to know what the theme is going to be at CES this year. I know I'm gonna be glued to the televisions and on the webs to find out what the particular trend is going to end up being.
CES.
Yeah, once I get enough subscribers that it's sustainable, sir. I told you my wife has been trying to cut my budget for a long time, and then you talking about going to see. I'm gonna go to Vegas without her. You're trying to get me divorced early. You're trying to get me divorced early. Look, sir, you are evil. Yeah. Hey, sweetie, I'm going to Vegas for news correspondence. Then what's going to happen. The next question is, so who is she?
Her name is Technolonia.
Oh Lord, that's not going to happen. But I'm just curious to see what do you think the trend is going to end up being? Because cellular, you got 5G. I think 5G last year got played out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
So all of a sudden, we had doctors, in the middle of the Sahara Desert doing surgery on somebody back in London. Apparently, they couldn't wait for this man to get out of the Sahara Desert. It was that serious. You know what I mean? So I just don't see what the next trend is going to be. I don't see it. I feel like we've gone through all of it. What you can't innovate no more on speed testing. You can't. I mean, the phones can't get any more faster than it was already is now. What 1.7? I can't even do anything but 1.7 gigs on my phone except look at it. Like, ooh, look at that. 1.7 gigs. This is nice. It's gonna keep me warm at night. But what about you, Ash? What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe electric cars. I feel like it's gonna be about cars.
Well, was it SEMA? SEMA had more people talking about electric cars there on the showroom floor than they normally do year over year. So maybe that might be a thing. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. Stay tuned. We're gonna end up talking about it. But thank y'all for coming. I greatly appreciate it. Anything you want to say? Double A.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
If you have any questions, any technology questions, please dedicate your questions to our friend Edmund, the RF engineer. He's an engineer for all the carriers. So if you have any questions,
hey, look, the radio. The conversations I was having in the groups, right? And yeah, I like the idea of being able to use, certain tools for the trade if I can't get my hands on it. But like the combination of using an iPhone to measure, RF versus using Android using RF. I mean, I equate that to using a fork versus a multimeter. We can both find out in that wall outlet if there's electricity. It's just one is a little bit more accurate than the other. You know what I mean? If the electrical shock versus actually knowing how many volts is in that wall. Which one do you want? That's how I look at it.
You're just gonna trip the breaker with that fork.
But hey, look, I do drive around with the service menu up, looking at what the networks look like. So I might be a little bit more nerdish when it comes to it than most, versus looking at the iPhone screen and hoping that the screen is updated itself to the correct time, and maybe it might be giving you the right information. I'm not trying to say that as a jab, but But hey, thank y'all for showing up. Greatly appreciate it. Ash, anything else you like to add that you want to add to my resume?
You didn't. Have we talked about Apple opening up the ecosystem to outside
oh
storage
yeah,
yet?
to
Dog?
you. Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. I forgot. Okay.
Lou Later was talking about it earlier.
Yeah,
Yep.
I saw another one that he was talking about Sony too, because Apple opened up and said something about Sony.
Yeah, they were saying,
They use
okay,
Sony
yes, we use
cameras.
Sony cameras,
We use
but everybody already
Sony
knew
cameras, but everybody knew that one.
I thought
Like,
people really believe Apple got special cameras or some crap.
But yeah, so the EU has forced Apple to open up the iPhone in the EU for third-party stores. Now, do you think that's coming over here to America?
I could see it coming to America.
I think it will eventually have to.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen for a while.
Hey, the road to somewhere is better than the road nowhere.
That's true.
You think they're gonna have two developers, one for the developer for the open source, one for the not open source?
Well, here's the thing. Like there's so many little things on iPhone that can be improved on, that if you have an independent source doing stuff for it, I believe that it can gain traction. But there are little things on my iPhone that really irks me, that somebody can literally come in and have put and just fix it with software. There's so many little things.
Yeah. And just realize too, right? There are certain developers that are just not developing for it because they can't comply with the closed market, the closed space.
Oh, no, more than that, they keep getting rejected.
But bro, that opens the door for so much. Like, think about it like this, right? This is actually bigger for industry than it is for the regular consumer. Think about companies that have custom software that they cannot put it on Apple products.
Right.
Think about that. In a way, this actually helps Apple more than Apple realizes.
But here's
company
the thing:
that,
they
that
want,
has a
but they want that
proprietary thing they
30%
want their
though.
employees to have, but they can't use the iPhone and do it. Just think about it.
But no radio, they want that 30%. They literally
That
went
yeah,
to
but the thing
war with
is, but
Epic
remember,
because of that
I'm talking about
30%.
free software. Apple won't even let free stuff in the store. What are you talking about?
True.
Believe me, I work for a company that tried. Okay,
No, I understand.
they're like, yo, we got this software over here we're developing. We need to dispense it out to our private ecosystem for our employees. Apple says, no, there's too many doors into it through your software. No,
Mm,
that's what I'm talking about. When you need that software to link back to your main servers, Apple won't leave it open for you to be able to make that happen. So you have to go elsewhere.
what about the whole idea of being secure?
But once again,
Does
I
does
just
a
told you
third
the
party does a
software that
third
I'm
party?
speaking of ain't even available to the public. Even now,
Yeah,
it's not available to the public. You can't even get the software I'm talking about because you have to be an employee, and it only goes on the company devices. And all
that's
those
true.
devices are secured by the company. The end user doesn't have the ability to manipulate that.
Right. But what I'm
But the
saying
but the
is
company gets
Apple,
to real time control all those devices, push and remove software at the will. And they couldn't
right.
do that with Apple. Meaning that if
Mm,
there's a new app comes out, I don't have to go download it. The company pushes it to the device because they have that level of access. And they can remove
right.
apps from the device because they have that level of access. That's what I'm talking about. The money
No.
lost on that is millions. It's millions.
Is it?
Believe me.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is it millions enough for them to want to relinquish control? Because like I know, like I understand where you're coming from. That look, remember
But
for
okay,
the company at hand, the companies at hand that would love to do their custom software on iPhone compared to Apple losing its 30% grip on.
yeah,
Because
but they
remember,
lost
this is
100% of the phone sales. That's the point I'm trying to make. They lost 100% of those sales because of it.
mm,
They could have sold one company 200,000 phones, and they said nah. And we're talking about companies that are paying cash money up front.
right.
How many companies on the planet you think exist like that? It's
That's a
probably
lot.
more than you think.
That's a
That's
lot.
what I'm getting at. So
I mean,
that's why you'll see companies that they'll have like Mac computers and they still have a Windows server. You see what I'm talking about?
I never understood that.
It's because
Like
they
if you
need control of the
why do you
server, and Apple won't give it. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I- so are you saying that the EU is going to literally make life easier for Apple?
It's just not make it easier, but it's going to stop that market share wall that exists. That 50% market
Mm,
share can drastically climb with interoperability.
and
They just now hit 50% in the US.
that is true. But it's
But
do
people
you
seem
think
to
that
think that
Apple
somebody told me Apple had 80% market share in the world the other day, and I laughed my ass off. That they
oh no,
really believe
they
it.
don't know.
80% maybe in the US.
Not even in the US,
Not in the US.
it's literally like 51%, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's at best 51%.
Now imagine you get every major corporation that has like custom software they need to deploy. They all now switch to Apple. That makes the US market share jump too.
That's true.
I'm just saying in general.
You know what you know what I would like to know is Android versus iOS or Android versus Apple, right? Which one in the business market is easier to manage?
Well, you can't manage Apple at all.
Oh,
They don't get full control. That's the thing.
wow.
Like my company can grab my camera and turn it on my freaking Android. Take pictures, copy apps. They can look at everything I do, push and pull software at any moment. No problem.
Mm,
And they're running that through IBM system, the IBM system that's available for Android.
wow.
Yeah. They have their
Wow.
own app store. We have our own app store separate from the Play Store. Why does
Now,
that exist? Because they couldn't do that in the Apple ecosystem and have their own store so they could put their custom software there because they don't want the public getting that software.
yeah, but I feel like Apple's driven more about money than it is being trying to go after market.
All I'm
So I
saying
mean,
is
if you look at it from this standpoint, I understand
the market
that
equals
being
money.
open, if being open is worth everything, right? But look, they are a multi-billion-dollar company, a trillion-dollar company actually, with
I know.
only 50% market share in the United States and probably only like 25 in America in the rest of the
Look,
world.
Keon, you name a rich company that don't want even more.
Oh no, but what I'm saying is slowly trickle it out
What I'm
and gain
okay,
more money
I'll put you
versus
like
all
this.
of a sudden open the floods up.
I'm looking at Apple's lock system, like AT&T hesitating with their fiber build.
Oh,
Apple
yeah.
has the chance to literally slaughter the freaking market, and they're just sitting back chilling.
True.
And now they done let freaking look, and now they done let Qualcomm start catching up.
Oh gosh.
Think about it, dog.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying history repeats itself, bro. What happened with Intel and AMD caught up?
Oh no, you see them slaughtering them now.
That's what I'm talking. Apple, if Apple sits too long and doesn't push for the next level, somebody's going to catch them. People think that, like I say, no company lasts forever. That's
No,
what I'm
well,
getting at. Like if you
tell
ask an
BlackBerry
iPhone,
that.
you say, I said, do you think iPhone is going to be the biggest phone in 2060? Oh, definitely. I'm like,
No,
but hey,
no.
they thought the flip phones was too, dog. And before
Dog, look,
that, they thought
already look at BlackBerry. BlackBerry is a
BlackBerry thought
prime
they were going to run shit.
example of a company that sat on their hands and laughed at anybody who wanted to touch a screen. Oh, people love the physical keyboard. Yeah, no.
You can only stay the same for so long before you run out of gas.
Bro, even Steve Jobs, he was like, "Oh, the stylus, that's never gonna work." Bro,
Yeah.
that's
Oh
the
yeah,
Note
they
series.
See,
they
The
they
Note
they they, they
series
knocked
killed
that
it.
down quick.
yeah. You can't wait but so long. You can only get comfortable for so long before somebody's got your ticket.
But here's the thing: you could tell that Apple had to do a 180 with the Apple Pencil because they didn't know how they were going to power it up. You know, Samsung was doing a stylus ever since. You could charge the stylus inside the phone. It ran it internally off the phone. Then they were like, "Yo, it's going to be wirelessly charged. So all you got to do is just stick it to the outside of the device." Apple was like, "Well, we're going to just put a cap on it, and you can stick it into the lightning port or the device." Like, you know, you could tell they wasn't ready. It was like, "Oh no, we got to hurry to do something."
Yeah, all I'm saying is this: for the most part, Apple already has its user base. Its user base ain't really changed. They can grab the next user base by giving more options.
Yeah, but they're being forced. But here's the thing:
yeah,
they're being forced to.
Yeah,
they're literally being dragged, kicking and screaming, like the whole USB-C debacle, right? And we could go down that rabbit hole talking about that one. But I'm telling you, dog, they're gonna do it just enough, but not all the way.
I believe it. I
Bro,
believe
they're already
it. Like
doing
I
it.
said,
What do
Bro,
you mean?
if you already get the regular generation, it's gonna be 15 watts. The regular and the plus model will only get 15 watts. The other
Yeah,
ones will get the full.
No, we're talking about even more sinister than that, sir.
Uh,
We're talking about like we're talking about no ports on the phone at all, and everything will go through mag charging. Because and the reason why I believe this to be true is because of the setup process that I had to do with my phone, with migrating my phone, like using my Fold 3 to act like I was becoming a new user to the iPhone. On Android, it gives you the option of what? You can transfer wirelessly, or you can use the transfer cable that comes in the box, right? iOS never gave me the option. It was like, yo, download the app on Android to put it on your phone. We're going to transfer all your stuff via wireless. That's what they're doing. Like, I could see them literally going, MagSafe charger in the box. It uses USB-C, but guess what? The phone doesn't. Sorry.
I don't think they're going to go that far.
They're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. Dog, I'm telling you, man, Apple is that sinister. Apple, the company, is that sinister, dog. Look, the fact that I could not transfer my contacts, my text messages, and all that information via the cable lets me know that's what they're gonna do. They insist on it being wireless, transfer it via Wi-Fi. let the two phones see each other in space. Bam, transfer via wireless. That's what they did.
Oh man, nah, I think they're gonna really put the port on the phone. I think they're gonna do that much.
What? Somebody gonna paint the port up there. That's about it. It's gonna be a scratching port.
All I'm saying is this, right? The main thing Apple's known for is great battery life. Okay, they got that leg up. They're
Yeah.
known for having stylish designs, whatever. Cool. People gonna put a case on it anyway. They know for they know for what they know for, but what they're not known for is being universally compatible. That's the only thing that keeps that phone from being perfect. That's why I kept saying they're like the 90% perfect phone. And
Hey,
they just
look,
keep tiptoeing on that edge of perfection. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna tell you, dog, if they really open up like they say, I guarantee you the market share jumps. It literally jumps. I guarantee it.
It's gonna. If
promise
it does, it's gonna jump because they weren't ready for the jump. I mean, look, granted, yeah, there's a lot of companies probably sitting and waiting for them to finally like let us do what we want to do. We were happy to migrate all our customers, look, all our people over to iPhones for you, so you could go from 50% to 90% market share.
Yeah,
But
there's a dude right now waiting to drop the damn emulation software on there so he could boot non-Apple stuff. He's waiting. He's waiting to release that app in the private store somewhere.
Edmund, I'm gonna go on record on something.
What you gonna go on record for, Brandon?
In the next 3 years, 70% of the iPhone will look like Android.
Is it gonna look
Or
like
higher.
it? Yeah, fold them.
You're talking about the interface. You're talking about the interface.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah,
no!
I agree.
Yo,
I agree.
they've already gone 10 plus years with the same grid of icons.
Well,
I have
9,
to
but
agree with
next year will
Brandon.
actually be 10.
Look, it's 10 years, dog. Look. The radio. I told you what happened, right? So I'm in a room. I'm in a Google Meet with Greg, and I did screen share with my iPhone, and his response was like, "What did you do to your phone?"
Because you actually changed stuff, he couldn't believe it.
He was like, "What did you do to your phone?" I was like,
Like-
"What do you mean?" I put the calculator at the bottom. I've always used the calculator for something. I hate the calculator a lot more than I do a lot of the little things, right? Because I'm always like doing math, and I need to do math real quick. And he was like, "You don't do that. You put Safari, you put the phone, and maybe FaceTime. The calculator at the bottom." Man,
See?
I was.
How dare you be customizing stuff? That's not what you do on an iPhone.
Yo, I was busting out laughing when he said that. I was like, "Wow, is it that serious?" So the Illuminati iPhone list is not enough. I violated the iPhone rule of changing my screen too.
The mess you guys did as Android, you and Ashley as Android guys. Do you look at other people's like home screens on their Android phone and be like, man, you got a mess?
No,
like
I
when
look at other
people's
people's
home
phones,
screens be
yes.
disorganized, it drives me crazy. It'd be icons in crazy places. I'm like, bro, why don't you organize that shit? You tell them to get this certain app, they got to go 4 screens over to get it.
But the radio that comes from the fact that a lot of people migrated from iOS to Android.
Yeah, they don't organize. My wife is one of the people. She don't organize none of her shit. It's just on there. And it'd be like, what?
It's just up there. It's like it landed on the screen somehow. I don't know.
I mean, sometimes what I always do a search.
Well,
but
because
while
you got so many pages.
Like Brandon, I could find the app without looking at the screen.
Some people have so many apps that they have to literally search it.
No, but I'm saying your main daily apps you use, like your daily stuff, should be lined up.
My mainly daily apps are always going to be on my second page. Everything else,
my main daily apps that I use are on the first page.
First page,
literally,
at the bottom.
I have no radio. I literally on my screen, and oh god, I can't show it. But
bro, my home scroll screen.
No radio. Literally, the settings app, the app for the settings is on the first screen for me because I keep touching it. I keep touching it, and it's all. I was like, yo, I might as well make that first, and then right next to it is all my Google apps Gmail and Google Keep and all the rest of the stuff next to it. So I touch those so often, that's why it's up there. But it's
Yeah,
on the first page.
Shit.
my home row lineup is phone, then the text, then Chrome, then camera, Maps, Apple Music, YouTube, and Gmail. That's my daily apps. They're all lined up on the bottom perfectly where I need them. I don't need to go search for nothing.
Yo,
The app I
Maria,
ain't used in 6 months is the one that I will be searching for. The one I use every day, I would never need to search for an app I use every day. And it's
True.
also not going to be at the top of the screen, so that way I can have one-handed use, which is why I'm so annoyed that Apple won't let me drop stuff on the bottom and keep it there. And just keep it there on the bottom where my thumb can get to it without me having to use two hands.
hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I do have to use two hands to use the iPhone a lot more.
Yeah, because you can't put stuff at the bottom like you want. It'll keep sticking it back up at the top. Even if you move it down, it's going back up. You got to like
I
put filler
do.
apps in there to make it all go to the bottom. You got to like fill the top in with shit you don't really need, just so you can stick what you actually need at the bottom.
Yeah, that's something I have noticed more than anything is
It's a
that I
200.
have. It's a two-handed job.
Yep.
So that's just something I've noticed by using the phone a lot more. Yeah, hey, my phone looks just like yours.
Yep. I got my necessary stuff is at the bottom where it needs to be. I ain't got to be like, oh crap, Chrome's all the way up at the top up there. Jesus. So if I'm gripping the wheel in the car, I'm not fumbling to get to an app at the top of the damn screen.
True.
And I don't even have a second screen in my home because I don't need a second screen. Any of my other apps would just be in the drawer where they belong in alphabetical order.
I look, I do
I need
use a
to.
second. I use a second and third screen, but those are for things I very rarely. But I don't want to have to go dig through. Like I keep the calendar open on multiple screens off the home screen, right? Because from time to time I do have to enter like a doctor's appointment in or something. I don't want to have to go in and search for the calendar app because on Samsungs there's multiple calendar apps on Samsungs, and I'm like
Yeah. Just depends on which one you actually use. I don't even use the calendar app, to be real.
but
But I have been using
man.
this Galaxy Buds Live shortcut on the desktop. I have been using that so I can throw in noise cancellation at any time.
So wait, hold on, sir. You use the lives, but you don't use the pros?
There's a reason why I have the lives, and it's not because I think they're better than anything else, sir. I got them to test them, remember?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And if I'm gonna test them to the fullest.
Okay.
I do
Yo,
like the little widget there,
here
but
you
the
go.
pros, I mean, yeah.
Already
Until they get an
there's
EQ, I
no
can't spend top dollar.
there's no app. So there's an app on Android for Samsung for the pros, right? But it's like a all-encompassing app for like the pros, the lives, all the different
Yeah,
ones that
it's
do.
just that the
But guess what?
built-in. Yeah.
There's no app in the Apple Store
Of course
for
not,
it.
because they don't support
Why?
open shit. But guess what happens if they support third-party stores? Oh, snap. Samsung might put a freaking app out for their buds to work all the features. How dare they? How dare they?
Ooh. Can't let that happen. Can't
That's
happen.
insecure. That's insecure.
Yo, look, man. I was like, yo, I'm looking for the app. There was an app for the buds. I mean the for the pro the lives that you're using, but there wasn't one for the pros. And I was like, yo,
Yeah.
that don't make any sense. And then I end up wirelessly pairing it, which wirelessly pairing um headphones that are not Apple headphones to an iPhone is
Pain in the
weird.
ass. Yeah.
It's very weird. Like I don't like on Android. There's like, hey, there's advanced features and there's the other features on the top of the features. They're like, yo, hit search if you're trying to scan for new ones. Apple's like, if it ain't Apple, we don't care. It ain't Apple, we don't care.
And I noticed too, like my no matter whether it was my JBLs, the Bose, the Jaybirds, or the Samsung ones, they don't pair as easy on the iPhone.
Yeah.
Like they'll hesitate. Even the Bose ones would freaking, even though they have the Bose app, the Bose on the app kept telling me it couldn't see the headphones on the iPhone.
Edmund,
So I just had to.
let's talk about the new carrier out in the street.
Oh
The-
shoot!
You talking about Dish?
Let me mute
No, the
my mic.
other one, the newer one,
Which one?
T-Mobile.
Oh Lord.
Brandon, call your ass back up under that bridge and be a good troll.
You see, he had to come. Look. You see, he had to come back after me because I started railing on Texas, dog. I knew he was going. No. Why is it that every single time Brandon gets trolled by everybody in the community, he comes after me?
Because you're an easy
Hey,
target.
he comes after me. I
You're
wasn't the
easy
one that
target.
be going after you, sir.
It's like all the gazelles, but you the one limping. He jumping on you, sir.
Man, look, just because I said a couple of things about Texas doesn't mean I don't like Texas. Just
Right.
Texas is a special place in my heart.
When you was talking all that junk about Texas, Brendan was over there sweating and getting mad, and he was oiling up his beard.
Already, I wasn't even listening, to be honest.
Oh,
You know, you was
your
oiling up
spidey
that beard.
sense.
His beard sense. What you mean?
Yeah, his spidey sense was kicking in, man. He was like, I hear
No,
somebody
but
talking about my
like for
state.
real, I honestly think they're going to raise prices.
Hey, man,
They've been finding loopholes to do it.
the loophole is the customer. If the customer changes their bill, then you didn't raise prices. That's
Like
it.
I honestly
That's it.
think they're going to, like, I don't think they're going to get rid of the Sprint plans. I think they're going to keep them, but they're going to raise prices on them to a point where they're just like they will advertise them magenta plans.
Look. Hold on, Brandon. Hold on. Let me ask you a question, Brandon. So
What?
let's say that you drive in your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, whatever vehicle you drive, no matter how much you love that car, the automaker that makes that car is not going to support those products no more. You're not going to be able to go buy the new carburetor. You're not going to be able to go buy the new engine body throttle. They're eventually not going to have a new engine for you because you love that car so much. They're not gonna sell you any more parts, right? So what do you
Right.
have? You have one or two things you're gonna end up doing. Either you buy a new car or you go full aftermarket, right?
Yep.
Right.
Obviously, you're going to move on because there's more choice out there.
Right. So
But
that's what I'm saying. Use that same model with the cellular industry right now. So when April 1st comes around next year,
but in real world, we only have 3 carriers.
yes. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. When April 1st comes around next year, T-Mobile
They
will
won't do it
nothing.
April 1st. They will wait later on in the year.
No. What I'm saying is they don't have to do anything. I'm telling you, all those Sprint plans, the Sprint deals and everything, that Sprint was literally giving away the house just so they can get to the merger. Okay, people were having 5, 6, 7 lines.
I mean, isn't
on Sprint
T-Mobile
for
giving
like
away
$10?
4 lines for $100 right now?
Yeah.
That's
But guess what? But here's the thing. But guess what? Did you ever notice, as a T-Mobile customer, to get the better plans, you have to make all of your lines the same. You can't just go
right.
You can't
There's
go.
no mix and match.
No, there's no mix and match. That's what I'm saying. That's how you migrate those free lines into paid for lines. Either that person drops the free line to go to Magenta Max, or they turn that free line into Magenta Max. But I have to do it myself.
Or
T-Mobile's not
what I
gonna make
think they're
me.
going to end up doing is, I'm pretty sure they're going to, in the long run. I mean, like in the long run, they're probably going to give away free lines, but there's going to be a major catch. It's probably only going to be for a year.
No. Look, I'm telling you, it wouldn't even have to be that way. I mean, remember, they're
But
going to be moving the
they
network slicing. And
But
Brandon,
they used
with
to do a
moving,
trick like that before with John Ledger. They
well,
used to be like if you 5 lines 4 lines for $100 and they get 2 gigs. And then after that, they would get like 5 gigs, and then after those 2 years, they would just go back down, and they had binge on and all that crap.
yeah, but that's shifting around. But here's the thing: a free line in the 5G era doesn't mean nothing. Like, it's not going to matter. Like,
I
maybe
mean,
in
they're
4G
doing it
it
now.
mattered. And maybe in 4G it mattered because understand there was no way of controlling like a Magenta Max customer different from a Essentials plan, right? The way that T-Mobile ran their network, both phones saw the same data. Like you
Right.
could literally do a speed test back to back behind each other, and the speed test will be 100% everything. But
Right.
then the only thing they did was make sure that you didn't get good video on the Essentials. So what I'm saying is they go, oh, you get a free line, but guess what? The person's going to be like, yeah, I could make phone calls, but I can't. I'm only looking at 480p on video.
But Edmund, the problem is with the industry is that if you're on LTE and in some cases even 5G, you will literally have to go onto your account and enable HD unless you're on Verizon C band or millimeter wave. That
Yeah,
is so inconvenient.
but that's
A lot
that
of
on
people
AT&T,
don't even know their own password to log in.
of course. And guess what? Yeah, you save your network from all the geeks in the world that would love to be a geek that would go in there and flip that switch for the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's say that somebody stumbles across like a video.
It's sad to say there's some people that will literally pay for they'll pay for that HD and they'll be on a 480p screen and they'll be like, oh, it's HD when it's really not.
Yeah,
Am I right? No radio, am I wrong?
no, you're right. I think no radio is eating dinner. I don't know,
No.
but
At the end of the
but
day, free lines. It was a retention mechanism. Period.
it's still a retention mechanism. I
That,
mean,
that's
but
the
here's the
point.
thing.
It's a
But here's the
retention
thing.
mechanism. It's
One
not a
company
selling point.
one company has made it their identity, where the other ones have made it a taboo.
Yeah.
Verizon doesn't want to ever be seen as giving away something for free.
Yet.
I mean, they'll be you halfway. They'll be like 50%.
Yeah, but they'll do that via a secret text message to each individual person.
And actually, Verizon offered me $10 to add a line per month. That's pretty cheap. $10.
Oh yeah, I remember you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Brandon, there's a big difference between being forced, like what Verizon and AT&T did, where they're like, oh, we're just going to add extra fees to your bill, versus you waking up and then, oh man, you know what? I'm tired of being throttled when I'm on video. Let me go into the store or let me call on the phone and get my service upgraded. That means that, guess what? That means T-Mobile never changed it. They just basically was like, you change your bill. Sorry. Now. So PA Techs, what do you say? They had a hard time drilling down into the account and find the update to turn it off. Yes, on AT&T is even harder. Like you need a PhD in programming to find it on AT&T.
Damn, son.
Yeah,
no, and he's right. No one wants to contact the carrier.
And then on top of that, guess what? If you contact the carrier, they might not do it right for you anyway. They be like, yes, all you gotta do is restart your phone. And then they try to do it again and they won't.
No, but Edmund, that's what I keep saying. And PA Tech is right, because literally when you call AT&T, it's like you have to go on a worldwide tour to get all to them call centers.
Yeah. But here's the
We're
thing.
on a world tour with Muhammad.
It's gonna. They're going to have to be, especially like within, I would say 2023, 2024, I believe that they're going to actually be more upfront. And I think that T-Mobile is going to force them to be more upfront, because they're going to be like,
Edmund,
it's going to be part of your plan. It's on.
Edmund, let's face it. When John Ledger left, the T-Mobile changed a little bit.
No, T-Mobile changed a lot.
Yeah, they changed. Well,
I mean,
changed a lot.
Well, not really. They did not change. They did not change a lot. The only thing that actually changed was the network.
They changed their whole philosophy.
So look, Brandon, when John Ledger was there, every time they were putting out like uncarrier moves, it was actually useful. Like whatever they did was actually useful. The minute he was out the building, every uncarrier move has been basic as hell.
It's
Yeah.
Damn near
basic.
not
Like
useful.
it's been mediocre.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
I
Like
would
there's
say that all like the one that probably has in common with the uncarrier move is probably Verizon. But then
yep,
everybody complains that they're expensive, but they still have them.
yep.
AT&T literally took away HBO Max, which is like y'all be all right.
Yep.
That is true. They took it away before I was able to capitalize on it, you bastards. But then on top of that, I understand. The funny thing is HBO is literally getting rid of shows that I was actually thinking about looking at. I'm like, well, I don't care now.
They're about to add Dr. Pimple, 600-Pound Live,
About
all
none of
that
that.
shit. I
I
know.
don't care about that.
I can watch Dr. Pimple Pop on YouTube. What's that all about, dog? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, that's what's going to end up happening when they put everything on to HBO Max, or what's eventually going to be called Max.
And then Dennis says T-Mobile changed a lot since John left. They have been pulling back on the uncarrier moves.
Yep.
Was part of their legacy. That's true. I mean, to understand the uncarrier moves have gotten boring, but the thing is the one that really mattered to me was when they decided that it was unthrottled data. I understand that unthrottled data was the hugest thing they came up with. It wasn't even, and they didn't even label it as an uncarrier. It was like, yo, you know how you get that text message that we were bothering you about? You don't see that no more. You good.
All the cell carriers suck. It's an industry-wide problem, to be honest. The fundamental things that users want have not changed. They want a fair price for good service with customer service. That will never happen.
No. I wouldn't say that. I think that you can have good service and customer service. It has to come
You'll
back
pay a
around
premium
to
for it.
no, you just gotta
Well, actually, they take that back. Now that doesn't even exist anymore because Verizon literally is trying to get rid of their reps.
hey, that's true. But here's the thing. What about T-Mobile? T-Mobile, like, their customer service is still good, right? I mean, I've called them and I
I
haven't
mean, I
even
wouldn't
that
be
many
surprised
issues.
if it ends up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up changing the next 2 years.
What, you think their customer service is gonna go in the tank too?
Yes.
Nah, I don't think so. If it look, if it was gonna ever be a time where it was gonna go in the
I
tank,
honestly
it
think,
was gonna
Edmund,
happen
that
during the early part of this merger. I believe it.
I'm going to tell you something. I honestly think they're going to close down a lot of stores the next 2 to 3 years, especially because ASIM is a thing right now,
Yeah, stores are
or
gonna
starting to be
close.
a thing.
Stores are gonna close, but look, I mean, think about it like this. I mean, you can pretty much buy your phone through the app now.
Yeah, that's
Do,
what I'm
you
saying. Like
don't need it. You don't need to spend majority of your being a name in front of people who may or may not walk into your store.
right,
So that's just marketing and clever and being able to use resources without having to spend a lot of money. That's all
right.
that is. I mean, there's nothing different about that. That AT&T and Verizon are going to be downsizing too. So they're all going to be
I
doing
mean,
it.
they've already been doing that now, but the thing is that T-Mobile is going to follow.
Well, T-Mobile's already doing it. It's not following; they're doing it right along with them. Like, remember when the Sprint merger happened, there was more. T-Mobile had more storefronts than AT&T and Verizon
Right,
because they had both Sprint stores and their own T-Mobile stores, and then they went through the whole process of consolidating all those.
right,
They
and
still
those
had
just closed
they
down
still had
last
stores that
year.
had leases.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying is those things are going to happen.
No, but like a lot of a lot of actual T-Mobile branded stores in Houston closed.
Hold on one second. No, radio is taking a nap on us. I don't want nobody here. Take a sleep. He taking a nap. I thought I muted him. There we go. I got him muted.
Yep.
But
But yeah, like a lot of stores did close.
a lot
And
of stores did
I would
close.
honestly expect more of them are going to close, especially if they want to fund the 5G network.
Well,
I will agree with Tyrone said a little bit that they're probably going to open up stores in rural America, but not by much. Because a lot of
well,
those
the
people,
well
a
the
lot of those
transition
people,
from city to rural is already starting. I mean, it's easier to put a store in the middle of a town or a bigger town somewhere than it is putting stores in the middle of cities where you got like competing stores all over the place. Like here you go. Yeah, you're gonna have a presence in Manhattan in right there in Times Square because that's where everybody is. But you're not gonna put 14 stores in blocks all around Manhattan. Those days are over. Like, hey, if you really need to go to that main, you go to our flagship store in the middle of Times Square. If you really need service, if you really feel like you need services, go to the flagship one. Otherwise, do everything through the app. But the people who are in rural America, where you're trying to convince them to become new, customers, you don't really need that whole lot of space. You just need a presence, and that's it. And remember, the rent for those little places are not going to be the same as it is in the major cities.
right?
It's not going to be the same. I mean, shoot, the amount of rent that you do in a major city compared to some mom and pops, strip mall. Come on, dog. It's night and day. You could open 20 of those at the price you were paying for one in a major city.
Right. And
But
T-Mobile is in a lot of malls, and malls like Simon Property Group and Brookfield Properties, they charge an arm and a leg for rent.
they do. But that's what I'm saying. The rent in major cities are higher. So
They're very
moving the
high.
retail stores away from cities and moving them to the countryside is a whole lot cheaper.
Hmm.
I mean, look at what T-Mobile was doing. Look what they were doing early on. They were like, "Yo, we were just giving away money to like different counties and different municipalities. Like, we're gonna open a park." So they
Right.
wanted good they wanted good PR when they get ready to open that store. Look what we're doing. We built a park for the kids.
Hmm.
Don't you think T-Mobile's cool?
I don't know about all
We
that.
do it for the kids.
But the only reason why they do it for the kids, well, they don't really care for the kids. Let's face it.
Hey, look,
Just like when AT&T had them kids in that little bitty table, them kids did not care. They don't
Randy,
care. The only thing they care about is putting their logo on and people and be like, oh, that's T-Mobile. Let's give them a
that
try.
look, anything you can do to garner goodwill,
It's
sir.
all
That
advertising,
it's all advertising.
right?
Understand? It comes down to advertising. That's it. But uh, hold on.
It's right. Let's face it. The younger people don't visit, and the older people do because they're not tech savvy.
That's true.
My mom, stepdad, my dad,
Oh,
my brother's younger than me.
indoor malls are dead unless you live
I
in
mean,
like a
if
major
you're in
metropolitan
if
area.
you're in a major city, they're not dead. But if you go like in a really small towns or whatever, and there's a mall there where Macy's and Sears and Dillard's and all those major anchor stores in those malls are closing, those malls are dead.
Well,
And Macy's already said the next.
you got
Macy's
these
already said
outdoor malls also. So
outdoor malls are becoming more of a thing, but even then, those are struggling as well. And most of those are also owned by Simon Property Group.
that's true.
Um, what was I gonna say?
Only the top line malls are decent.
Yep, like
Those malls
but
aren't spending money. Yeah, They're not spending. They don't have to spend money, man. Their presence alone gets some traffic. I mean, especially when you're the only thing within, like 30 or 40 miles of somebody. When you're the only thing within 30 or 40 miles of a person, is you get there by default. Where like here in the city, like Washington D.C., there used to be a mall within 5 miles of people. Like one person had access to like 5 different malls. That those malls are dying. Like they're becoming either strip malls or special destination spots. So
hmm
I mean the whole marketing and everything for sailor is going to change. It has to change. Why do you think eSIM is being pushed?
eSIM is actually going to save a lot of companies money because they don't have to pay employees.
Yeah, but here's the thing: eSIM makes it easier to switch too. So yeah, you might save money, but here's the thing:
Mm,
you're gonna have to have better perks and longer perks, and Verizon giving Netflix on us for
but
1 year, that
I
which is the
honestly,
premium is not going to be enough.
think, Edmund, that these carriers are going to give people hell unlocking those phones.
Oh
That's
no,
my
no,
thing.
that's what they're going to do. They have to
That's
do
what
that.
they're gonna do. They're gonna make eSIM more popular, but they're gonna make it hell when you try to switch to another carrier.
Oh yeah, I believe that. That's a given. I'm just saying that. Remember, eSIM. What makes things easier is the fact that a person can switch. Like
Yup.
the fact that you could try out a network now for 30, 60, 90 days for free. Let's say that T-Mobile wasn't your first choice, but now let's say if T-Mobile put up a couple towers in your neighborhood you didn't even know, and you're paying $97 a month for a line on Verizon, and you're like, yo, I really want my plan to be cheaper. Guess what? You could try T-Mobile out for 60 days, 90 days now for free. That changes the game altogether. It
hmm
literally makes it where, yes, it's easier for the carrier for overhead, but it's also easier to convert somebody to.
hmm
I'm just saying. And I'm just saying, a lot of phones are becoming eSIM ready now. I mean, Android phones dating back to at least the 21, S21 are starting to become eSIM. You start making those mid-range eSIM, come on, man. You start
I
making
will go
mid-range
on
eSIM, that's
record.
it.
I will go on record and say into the Galaxy S24 will be eSIM only in the
The Gal-
states.
I
The
could see that.
24. In
Yeah, the
24.
20. I could see the 24 being eSIM only. I mean, the iPhone jumped the gun. They could have rolled out the SIM and eSIM for at least one more generation, but I guess
hmm
they wanted to go ahead and be like, "Yo, that eSIM slot's costing us millions of dollars. Let's go ahead and get rid of that thing."
Right.
But hey, no ready, not really no radio, but hey, Brandon, I gotta go wake my wife up, get her ready to go to so she can go to work. But we're gonna end it right here. Anything you want to tell the people before we get ready to jump off?
Have a great Christmas, and I guess we'll see you all on New Year's Day / birthday.
Yeah, hey, yeah, my birthday is New Year's. So yeah. Depending on what the camera look like, I might try to get one. I might be able to get another one in before, but I'm not gonna try to rush it because I know that um CES is coming up, and a lot of tech is gonna come out of there on when CES happens. So we got a couple of friends going to Vegas, and I would love to hear back from them also what their experience is like when they go to CES too. So that's just me. But
Mhm.
thank y'all for watching. If y'all want to join the conversation, feel free to join the Patreon, and everything's in the listing for that. So you got the $1, $5 tier. You can join the conversation, get in here and tell me how stupid I am that I have been told all week long. I've been called stupid so many times, I'm starting to think it.
Mm.
But hey, that's different other people's prerogatives. But thank y'all for watching. And we are out.